More than 1 million Puerto Ricans are still without power after Hurricane Fiona hit the island on Sunday afternoon. Now, the storm washed away, look at this, washed away this bridge as it made landfall just days before the 5th anniversary of Hurricane Maria. Well, Fiona is now a tropical storm, but it is still battering the island with heavy rains and then, of course, causing those catastrophic flash floods.
Emergency teams are still actively rescuing trapped people, saving at least 1,000 already. Hundreds of FEMA workers are on the ground following President Biden's emergency declaration. The president is assuring Puerto Rico, we stand with you and we will get through this together. CNN's Leila Santiago is live in San Juan, where the rising water, we understand, is the major concern. Leila, what are you seeing around you?
Well, listen, in San Juan, we're in the northeastern part of the island, so it's a bit of a different situation from what they're continuing to see, rather, on the southwestern part of the island. And let's not forget the interior part of the island, which really usually sees a lot of damage when it comes to natural disasters related to weather anyway. And so I know Victor showed that video of the bridge that was washed away. I actually talked to a young man who was there last night when that happened. He told me that he was just looking outside his window and that it happened in a matter of minutes. This morning, I was in the southern part of the island, managed to get into Salinas. Salinas, again, right there on the south, kind of central eastern part of the island. And I got to tell you, there is a lot of concern and frustration among the people I talked to. I want you to listen to an exchange I had with a gentleman there. He's a resident and a business owner from Salinas. Listen.
A lot of people, more than Maria, lost their houses now, lost everything on their houses because the floating. The Maria was tough winds, but this one, with all the rain, it just destroyed everything on the houses. It's unbelievable. It's our town. It's a small town that basically, who's going to take care of this town? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? If we don't take care of it, nobody's going to take care of it.
And that's the sentiment that I heard echoed by several different people, especially when I went to the shelter. I talked to the mayor there. She said they have more than 2,500 families that are impacted by this flooding right now that just doesn't stop, because the remnants of now Tropical Storm Fiona are continuing to pound this island. And so it's not just the flooding, it's not just the mudslides that we saw on the main highway that we watched as crews were trying to get control of that. It's also water. 60% of customers here, give or take, don't have water. Water, part of that not available because they depend on power to get that water. And so power, the majority of the island is without power right now. Now, they have been able to restore a small bit of that, but the power is what causes a lot of anxiety that adds to the anxiety from the floods and the images that you're starting to see, because let's not forget the timing here. Tomorrow will be 5 years since Hurricane Maria came and destroyed this island and left many here without power for months. Victor and Allison.
Left them without power and with a lot of anxiety after the storm approached. Leila Santiago reporting from San Juan. Thank you so much.
So in addition to the hundreds of FEMA workers on the ground, Puerto Rico's governor says California, New York, and New Jersey are also sending in people to help.
When it comes to the island's infrastructure and power grid, officials say they are much better prepared to respond to this crisis compared to the one brought by Hurricane Maria 5 years ago. Craig Fugate is a former FEMA administrator. Craig, good to see you again. I want to ask you about what we heard from the man that Leila just spoke about. He said for his small town, this is worse than Maria. As we look across the island and all of the other variables, is this worse than Maria?
Well, the flooding is going to be worse. If you remember, Maria was primarily winds. So where we have these communities that all of this flooding is taking place, you're seeing it blow out the roads, you're seeing it, destroy the buildings. Road infrastructure is going to be heavily impacted again. So where the flooding is taking place, it's probably as bad, if not worse than Maria. But I don't think we're going to see that level of devastation over the entire island, similar to the wind damage we saw from Maria.
Oh, that said, Craig, I mean, we all remember 5 years ago how long we had to report on the power outages because of Maria. I mean, it went on for months and months. In some places, they didn't restore it for 11 months. So now it's been 5 years. And have they shored up their power grid since, 1.3 million customers today are without power? I mean, what's the status of the power grid on Puerto Rico?
Well, we're about to find out. They had done a lot of rebuilding. Some of that was done really quickly after the storm to get power on, and they were going to go back and do more permanent work. So this is an example that, as we saw from Hurricane Katrina, as we're seeing now from Hurricane Maria, rebuilding takes years, if not decades. And so how much has been done, what worked? What I'm really concerned about on this grid is we had a lot of new energy sources put in the system. We're seeing damage to solar arrays. Also, a big limiting factor after Maria was the condition of the roads, so that the repair crews could even get in to, to make the replace power lines. You're seeing bridges washed out, roads washed out. So unfortunately, I think we're going to see a lot of those similar things. What we still need to wait and see is how much of the grid has been directly impacted by winds, where that was so widespread in Maria, or is this more isolated and they can make those repairs and get power turned back on to large areas?
They can't go through this every couple of years. I know you're an advocate for, and we have discussed building a more resilient infrastructure. We talked about it in the context of the contiguous 48. But for Puerto Rico, what needs to happen so that the next time a Cat 1, even with this amount of rain, that it's not as disastrous as we're seeing it is now?
Well, we've seen some things that were repaired after Maria that were temporary, that hadn't been permanently repaired, get washed away. It's important that when we rebuild after these disasters, we're building for the future, not what's happened in the past. And we're going to have to understand that what happened in Maria was a lot of wind over large areas. Some of these communities that are flooding hadn't had that in Maria. So we're still uncovering that where we have people living in those communities, when we go back and rebuild, we got to build back against all the threats of these storms. It isn't just wind, as we're seeing with this storm, it is water. And in Puerto Rico, we have seen a lot of deaths, people being rescued. And the issue you're raising is the insanity of going back and putting it back the way it was isn't working. We've got to really focus on making the investments of where we're going to rebuild, how we're going to rebuild, because the climate has changed. How we've been building and developing hasn't caught up yet.
Yeah. Craig Fugate, thank you for helping us understand what we're seeing there today.